This is 500 years old. Oh, there's a mushroom growing in his eyeball. Pretty sure my dad likes this tree more than he likes me.
So behind me is tons and tons of tropical bonsai because I'm here at Asia Pacific Gardening, which is south of Seattle. And we're gonna be looking at some bonsai that are upwards of 110 years old. But not just that, some of these are all tropical, meaning you can keep them in your house. So we're gonna learn a ton of fun facts. We're gonna see a lot of very cool trees and learn some interesting stories. Stick around.
This is Asia Pacific Gardening. We are mainly a wholesale business, but we also open up our doors for retail. We are known for our tropical tree collection. So all of these do well indoors. We have probably 13 to 15,000 trees in here at any given time. And we are the direct importer. And what we do before we sell them, we acclimate in our greenhouse for about 4 to 6 months before we sell them. The way we price our trees is about $1 per month of the age of the tree. And I feel like if we go any lower, it's not the right quality. And how we're laid out here, each aisle, one age, 1 year, one price. So everything in this row, waist level, 8-year-old tree and trading as bonsai for 5 years. They run around 95.
Wait. These are how old?
8 years old.
These are 8 years old?
Yes. And then stuff on the top shelf are like in between training projects, our own personal collection.
So you mentioned tropical bonsai, you mentioned less tropical bonsai?
Yeah, the less tropical ones will be our native species, so like junipers, pines, ginkgos, maples. Those need to experience all 4 seasons, whereas the tropical trees, temperature is the same year round, so they don't ever have a dormant period. I personally like tropical trees because you can do root work virtually anytime.
Could you give me like a quick, what is a bonsai?
Yeah, so the word bon and the word sai, 2 different words. Bon means a container, sai means tree or the scenery.
And for something to be bonsai, does that mean it has to take a super long time? Can something be a bonsai the moment you've done something to it?
No, the most important part of bonsai is the container. So this you would not call a bonsai because this is in a plastic pot. This is something in training. The second you put it into the bon, you get the bonsai. You can technically bonsai anything, but if you bonsaied like a rosemary plant and brought it to an international bonsai convention, they're probably going to send you home pretty quick.
Oh, that's interesting. Is there a lot of gatekeeping in the bonsai community? Are they like, that's not a real bonsai, that is a real bonsai? Who decides that?
That's a tough question to answer. They're like at elite levels, there are specific trees that are great bonsai. Naturally, you want to find a tree that has small leaves because you can never change the size of the leaf. Let's take an apple tree, for example. Sure. Bonsai this small, an apple tree, the leaf will be huge and you get 1 apple and then the proportion will just be really strange. So we like to choose trees like the Chinese elm, for example. Every bonsai artist goes after a Chinese elm because the leaves are just naturally small. And as a full-size tree, the leaves are that small as well too.
Earlier you mentioned training. What does training mean?
Training means a lot of different things. Wiring is part of the training, watering is part of the training, pruning is part of the training. If you don't train a tree, it's just gonna grow vertically straight like a regular tree. Like the training started, that's how you create the curve with wire, or you can tilt it around the sun. Without training, this will grow vertically straight. This is less training, and you can see where the main trunk gets chopped off. So this was grown in the ground for so many years until the trunk gets thickened. Bigger tree, you chop it and then you train the ramifications. Bonsai is about training the structure of the tree, not growing a tree. That's a big difference.
So what's going on here?
So this is a technique I learned from one of my dad's penjing teacher from when we went to China this past spring. So what I'm doing here, I'm pushing this tree into this rock, and as it gets thicker, the tree will kind of grow into the rock. Wow. So it's his rock fusion technique that I picked up, trying something new. Because styrofoam won't leave any scar, it pushes in. And if I use regular wire as the trunk thickens, it leaves that weird scar. So by using styrofoam, it helps protect it.
The story behind some of these must be insane.
Pretty sure my dad likes this tree more than he likes me.
Why do you say that?
He's so protective of this one. It's been in his care for 45 plus years, like literally older than me. Like, this is his baby. Tell you a little bit about our centerpiece here. So this tree is approximately 110, maybe 120 years old. This is 2 trees grafted together. The trunk is the Ficus retusa. The branches is a Ficus microcarpa. The reason we did that, Ficus retusa leaves are a little bit bigger, but microcarpa leaves are really small. We're keeping the structure and guiding the new growth into the structure and try to create this, it's called a tanuki bonsai. where you're using a dead tree as a brace to grow a new tree into it. And tanuki in Japanese lore is like a spirit raccoon animal that latches onto living things. So the idea is that the dead tree is latching onto a living tree.
Is there a personal favorite of yours in this room?
A little biased because it's one that I'm training right now. Let me show you. It's the ligustrum forest that I'm working on.
Whoa.
And my inspiration for this piece is, at one point, this was an old growth forest and a tree fell down, took out a bunch of trees, but left one older one hanging here. And then as a tree falls, it encourages new growth around it and creates nursery logs. Wow. So there's a new one up here that I planted and is now rooted into this old tree.
So it's like an art form, it's storytelling.
Yes, that's why I like this piece so much. Unfortunately, something happened with this tree back here. It died. So I gotta find another one that can replace it.
That's how I can tell you're an artist, because like the moment you show me your favorite thing, you point out like, this is something wrong with it.
Yeah.
The outside stuff, most of this is all like local species?
Correct, yeah. We have some mostly junipers, we have some Scotch pine, we have some spruce, we got some western hemlock.
Okay, so I think this is what most people think of when they think of bonsai. And how old is a tree like this? This is pretty young, right?
Probably like 6-7 years old.
Oh, that's a lot older than I thought, actually.
Yeah, but like stuff like this is probably 3.
Okay.
And then depending on the tree, like the Scotch pine here, this is probably 2, maybe 3 years now. And the good thing with these is when they're young, they're so flexible. So you can train the S-curve and whatever you want.
And they don't snap. I
No.
see this one is...
Yeah, so you wire on there, leave it there for about 6 months and it'll hold that shape.
This is spoilers for the next video. Training.
And like Alberta spruces, at nurseries, they're often grown vertically because it's like a Christmas tree, and you can't train them at that point. But in this stage, you can still train a really cool Alberta spruce. Like they're so flexible.
Oh my gosh.
And we have a really big black pine here that we don't know what we want to do with yet, but we have the container for it.
That's like a competition.
Can't call it a bonsai yet because it's still in this.
But it's like a pot. It's just a bit different.
Let me show you the pot.
Oh, well, you've got the pot? Wow, that's a bathtub.
It is a bathtub. And we used one of these to repot a 7-foot shore pine at a private residence.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a challenge to get it.
So are the indoor bonsai much more popular?
Not much more popular than outdoor ones. Oh, and this one, if you look at from this side, you see a face. There's an eye and the mouth. So my idea for this piece is that bonsai is always on your mind.
I like that.
And what I've done with this is a fountain container, so there's no water drainage. So it just sits in a bucket of water. Since the pumice stone absorbs so much moisture, there's a mushroom growing in his eyeball.
Wait, no way. Wow.
I want to show you a really cool Alberta spruce that we have. Come follow me.
Wait.
Yeah, this spruce. Here, it just looks like a regular forest. And the unique thing with this forest, this is one tree laid on its side.
Wait, this is one tree?
This is the original root. This was the trunk, and then the apex was here that was chopped off, laid on its side. And over the course of several decades, we didn't start the training. We acquired this from a private collector, but we thinned it out, opened up the structure, and we realized that, like, hold up, this is one tree.
Yeah, that's amazing. How old is this, do you know?
We don't know. It's changed hands several times, so the record of the original artist was lost. I'm guessing probably 40, 50 years, because that giant spruce was left there and forgotten about in 97.
That's just a tree now?
Yeah, it's now part of the ground. It's burst out of the plastic container.
I was noticing this one with...
Oh yeah, this is my dad's creation. He's not done. This used to be a fountain, but he filled with plastic plants. He took all the plastic plants off, drilled some drainage hole, and he installed actual plants in there. And then this juniper, guess how old it is?
I mean, it looks at least like 50 to 100 years, right?
This is 500 years old. This was collected up in the Rocky Mountains in Wyoming. And the only reason why this was taken out of the ground, the place was being developed by like a property management company. And then they were just gonna plow through all of them. And our friend was there and he was able to save one. All these twists and turns were done by Mother Nature, snow pack, ice, wind, storm. And we think it may have survived a fire at one point because of the black charred scar.
Yeah. Is there something that makes bonsai pots different than regular ceramic pots?
Not necessarily. I think the main difference is bonsai pots you want to fire under high temperature fire. When you do that, it withstands the sub-zero temperatures. When things freeze, it won't split. And you always want to use ceramic, not porcelain or metal, because those two will transfer heat. Ceramic pots, it could be hot on the outside, but the inside is cool. A high temperature fire pot, if you ring it, it should be a bell. If it's a thud, 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 it's gonna split.
And then is it a specific shape that a pot has to be bonsai? I see there's like some more like...
No, yeah, this is more for a cascade. So for stuff like this, you want a tree to grow down. But in terms of oval, square, circle, that's just personal preference at that point. The thinner ones are good for forest because you don't want the pot to overpower the tree. We have one of our videos on our channel. We actually went to the bonsai pot factory and we shared the production.
What's a really good first bonsai? Like, I just want to fiddle around, put a plant in a nice pot. What do I start with that I probably won't kill?
So we get asked this question all the time. My best answer is the tree that speaks to you is going to be the best and easiest for you because you're going to wake up every day wanting to care for it and remembering to care for it. Versus if I gifted you a tree, like cool gesture, great tree, but if you don't have the emotional connection with it, you're going to forget about it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends get a bonsai as a gift and then kill it.
Yeah, it's different if you choose it yourself because you're gonna do all the research and want to care for it as much as you can. If you ever travel out of town, go on vacation, bring the tree back to us, we'll do the watering and care for you.
Dang, that's like pet sitting, but on steroids. That's probably better care than my cat gets when I hire a house sitter, honestly.
And don't trust your friends to water them. They're not gonna water it correctly. They're gonna think they're over watering it, but if your bonsai soil is correct and you have the right bonsai container, it's impossible to over water your bonsai because water drains out of the bottom.
That's what a lot of people get wrong about most like houseplants, especially tropical plants, is if you have the right soil, if you have really good drainage, you can't overwater, because if they sit in water, that's how you overwater. It's the lack of oxygen flowing through the roots.
Correct.
All right, so that was the tour of all of the different bonsai, everything. Thank you so much for showing me around. Now, next video, we're gonna be turning this $300 tree into a bonsai. Yeah. So get subscribed. Also, they have a YouTube channel. If you want to learn more about bonsai, then you need to check it out.
Asia Pacific Garden, we do bonsai related video every Friday.
Every Friday? That's a lot more than me. Check it out, link down below.